Hi guys, I'm October, but you can call me Toby. Thanks for coming to spend some time with me. In today's video, let's get back to basics and do a basic granny square tutorial. This is a pretty simple tutorial, so there aren't too many abbreviations. And my tools and materials are very straightforward as well. You can do this with any type of wool and hook size. To be honest, it will just change the size of your granny square. I'm using a 4mm hook. I'm using this Dreamtime Merino 4-ply wool. It's 100% Australian merino. It's in this lovely denim blue. It's very soft and nice to work with. I also have some scissors and a yarn needle, and I've got stitch markers, but I don't really need them for this project. Let's get into it. I don't currently have a bowl for my wool to sit in, so enjoy it bouncing around my desk while I make this. Let's get started with a magic ring. Now, if you're not familiar with a magic ring, this is how I put mine together. Loop once over a few fingers. You can do 2 or 3 fingers. You want to have parallel lines on the back of your fingers and across on the front like that. Hook under the first line, pull the second line of yarn through, and then we're going to go over the first line of yarn and hook under that second one. Now we're going to pull that second loop through our first loop, and that will create your slip knot for your magic ring. Make sure that you have enough of a tail left to be working over the top of, and your loop should tighten using the long tail of your yarn, not the short tail. Alright, so we'll be working into the magic ring for round 1. We're going to chain 2. This will count as our first double crochet. Then we're going to do 2 double crochet. Make sure you're doing these into the magic ring. So 1, 2. We're going to chain 2. Now we're going to do 3 double crochet into that magic ring. We'll repeat this 2 more times after this. So you should have 4 groups of 3 double crochet. That includes your first one, which has the 2 chains as a double crochet. And you should have 4 lots of chain 2 between those groups of 3 double crochet. So there's 2 groups of 3 double crochet with a chain 2 between them, making sure to keep the tail of my magic ring long enough that I can keep working over the top of it. Okay, now we have our 4 lots of 3 double crochet. We're going to do our last chain 2 and then slip stitch into the top of the first chain 2 that we've done. You can pull your magic ring as tight as you would like to at this point. I want to leave mine a little bit open, and you can always tighten it again later if it comes a little bit loose, because we'll continue to have that tail there in the center. There's our slip stitch to join it all together, and then 2 slip stitches so that we can finish up in that chain 2 space. And every time we finish a round, we'll be doing an additional couple of slip stitches so that we can work starting in the chain 2 space. Moving on to round 2, we are going to chain 3 this time, and that will be our first double crochet, and then we are going to do 2 double crochet. These are both into that chain 2 space. We're gonna chain 2, and into the same chain 2 space we're going to do another 3 double crochet. So this creates our corner piece for the next round. There's our first 2, and they've got a chain 2 between them. Now we chain 1, and into the next chain 2 space from the previous round we're going to do that again. So we're going to double crochet 3, chain 2, and double crochet 3 into that same space. Now we chain 1 and double crochet 3 into the next chain 2 space from the previous round. Then we chain 2 and do another 3 double crochet into that same chain 2 space. We chain 1 and do that again in our last chain 2 space. So we have 8 3 double crochets, and each corner has a chain 2 space, and each center space is only 1 chain. Now we'll do our last chain 1 and slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3 that we did. That closes off this round. Now we're going to slip stitch across into that next chain 2 space so that we can start the next round. Okay, round 3. We're going to chain 3, that's our first double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet into that chain 2 space. That counts as our first group of 3. We're going to chain 2 now, and into that same space again we'll do another 3 double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1 and do 3 double crochet into the chain 1 space of the previous round. Chain 1, and then the same again for this next chain 2 space on the corner. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into this chain 2 space of the corner. So we repeat this all the way around. Our corner pieces are 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, then we chain 1, do our 3 double crochet into that center space from the previous round, chain 1, and then do another corner piece. Alright, that's our last chain 1, so we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, and that will close off this round. We're just going to slip stitch across into the chain 2 space to start our next round. Round 4, this one continues on in that same pattern. We're going to chain 3, double crochet 2, then we'll chain 2 and do another 3 double crochet into this corner section. We'll chain 1 and do 3 double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1 and do 3 double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and then we'll do another corner section. We'll do this all the way around, finishing up with a chain 1 and slip stitching onto the top of our chain 3. And then if you want to continue the pattern, you would slip stitch across into the chain 2 space again, and you would continue this pattern, just making sure that your corner pieces are 2 lots of 3 double crochet separated by a chain 2, and for all the 3 double crochet going into chain 1 spaces between the corners, you're separating those by a chain 1. So for the next round you would do your corner section, chain 1, and then you would do 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1 before you reach the next corner. And you would just continue to increase like that to expand this pattern and make a larger and larger square, as large as you need. I'm going to stop at round 4, so once this one is done, that will be my square complete, because this is the size that I want to make for today. Alright, so I've done my slip stitch, and I'm actually going to tie off at this point, but that is my square complete. So I'll just make a knot, and I'll cut off here and weave in my tail. In the description I will put the pattern, and I will do a couple of additional rounds just so you can see how that increases, although I am at this point stopping at round 4. And the granny square's all finished now. So that is the basic granny square. It's a very classic looking square. It blends nicely with any more intricate squares. Design wise it is very simple, and so it works really well with other squares that have more intricate or detailed designs. And that is so far how I've used it in my flowy granny square shirt that I made for a friend. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope it's useful. Bit of a shorter one today, but it's a quicker little tutorial since it's a simple granny square. I'll see you again next time. Have a great day. Bye.